Welcome to the Business Growth Podcast. Today I'm here with Oliver, the CEO of Leo Studios. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Leonard. Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit more. What do you guys do at Leo Studios?
Yeah, so we can probably get later on into the pivot we did a couple years back because we used to be just a general web agency, but right now we're specialized in helping basically coaches, trainers market and scale their coaching businesses online. So we have an interesting twist. We do profit sharing only with these info products and coaches. And so we manage the entirety of their marketing and we help them grow their business so they can focus on actually doing the teaching and being in touch with their customers and having less marketing and technical stuff to think about.
Okay, nice. And then so tell me more. You said in terms of the pivot from what you guys previously were doing as a marketing agency into this.
Yeah, exactly. Because as a marketing agency, we keep telling people every day that they should niche down and not try to do anything for anyone all the time or everything for everyone. And obviously, we were doing the exact opposite, just taking any job we could, accepting any client that came towards us and running after everybody. But I was doing this process, which is probably the single best book I've read in terms of not in terms of the quality of the book, but the change it made in my life and in my business. It's called Traction from
Okay.
Wickman, and this $20 book led me into investing over 50K in coaching with a consultant and implementing the EOS structure within Leo, within our agency. And one of the things, our first step together was to figure out what we wanted to be the best at. And so Hugo, my coach, he kept asking me meeting after meeting, what are you guys going to be the best at? And it just we were scattered among so many different things. But eventually during COVID, we stumbled upon a project that was an online course for drawing classes. So people were just they were stuck at home. They didn't have anything else to do. And I helped one of my previous boss, actually. It's a woman that hired me before I launched my own business. And she did these classes in her house. I'm like, oh, let's just try to do a class online. And if we can manage to get 10 people to purchase your course, then at least you're gonna have a little bit of revenue to compensate for the 10 people that used to come in your living room. And instead of 10, we got 250 people to sign up within, I think, like 2 weeks. It was insane. And basically, so we had these types of project going on, and at some point I was like, "Damn, Hugo, I think I know what we should be doing. Like these courses, I think we're onto something with that." And I was on the phone. I still remember that conversation. He asked me, "So basically, Oliver, what you're telling me is that you found this thing where pretty much nobody else, like no other agencies is specialized in this thing." I'm like, "Yeah." It's like these are like projects that you look like you're very excited about. Like the team is energized by these projects. It's fun things to do. I'm like, yeah, yeah, exactly. And he's like, yeah, and from what you're telling me, I hear like you're getting paid on commission. It seems like it's more lucrative than these other projects that you're doing. I'm like, yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like, and your question is, should you do only that? Like, yeah, I guess that sounds a little bit dumb when you put it this way. And so I called my partner that same day, and we decided that we were going to pivot. So within a week, I was meeting my entire team to announce them the decision. And within a year, we had sold the entirety of our past clients. So we did a transition because obviously we needed some of the cash flow to fuel that new direction. But
Mhm.
we basically, yeah, within a year created a new brand, new processes, get a new marketing funnel, sold all the past clients to other agencies and collaborators, and never looked back.
Well, yeah, I like the story. It's funny how some businesses it's just like you just stumble upon and then you just go with it and suddenly this is like your full-time business now. So that's really interesting. And then I know so previously I believe you said you were working with about 200 clients previously and now you're working on about six projects now. Now, obviously with that and what you were saying last time as well, it's really important picking the right people to work with, especially given you're just paid just on commission. So tell me a little bit more. What does it kind of look like when you're looking, should I work with this person? How do you know if they're the right person to work with?
Yeah, very this was one of our challenges. It still is, but we did learn a lot along the way. So to add a little bit of context, as you said, we used to have these like several hundred clients where we would just have a little bit of energy and time to allow to everyone. And now we still have like as big of a team. We're about 10 people are at the office. So it's not like a huge agency, but to have only 6 projects for this team size means we're putting in a lot of love and energy on them. Like
Mm.
we're not just doing tidbits here and there. But to anybody considering this, like I did the math the other day, if you have 200 and I think 280 clients, you end up if they have one urgency per year each, you end up having one urgency every single work day to deal with.
Yeah.
Which is terrible. And some of these clients we used to talk like maybe once or twice a year, like if they're just hosting their website, for example, and the only touch point you have with them almost is when they're pissed because something is going wrong. So it was really, really bad. But
Yeah.
yeah, now we're working these very few select clients where we do a lot of things for them, like the emails, the ads, all the funnels, the landing pages, the
Mhm.
every like new promotion strategy, all of that. And so we have a few spots that we can fill in. And
Mhm.
obviously, there's a lot more people that are interested in working with us since we're specialized. Obviously, it's easy to underestimate how like the power of specializing because now people when they're in this industry and they're looking for an agency, sometimes they meet like 4 of them, and when they meet us, they don't even ask for the price. They're like, okay, we know we're gonna work with you. Like, how does it work? Because it's just too well tailored to their specific needs. Um, but then we're also 100% on commissions, so they don't have any risk. We even put our own credit cards in their ad accounts, so we're taking all the risk for them. So that flipped our biggest challenge from acquiring new customers to selecting the right customers because we're getting applications on a daily basis, and my colleague Rafael, his job full time is to meet with these people and select the best possible project that has the most potential that we're going to then bring into the team to work with. And so the 3 main criteria that we try to evaluate, basically, we call it superstar, super product, super market.
Mhm.
So some of them are a little subjective, obviously, but it's a framework that helps us try to take better decisions. So the superstar is obviously having people that are TV friendly, like we're working with coaches, and people are gonna have to do webinars and ads, and they're gonna show their face online, so they gotta be like comfortable and natural at it, charismatic basically, and also fun to work with because some people are charismatic, but they don't do the things. And when you're paid by the hour, it doesn't really matter if the client doesn't do is part of the deal. But when we're on commission, we're dependent on their work as much as they're dependent on ours. So want to make sure we're selecting the people that are actually getting shit done. Excuse the my French. Then super product is more about the quality of the training that they offer. So on the short term, we could probably sell like any training, even if it doesn't deliver results. But on the long run, it's much more profitable for us to partner up with people that are not scamming everyone. Because obviously it's just going to hurt all metrics. Like even if it's just from a pure selfish standpoint, I mean, I don't want to hurt anybody. I wish everybody the best. But even if I was like the worst selfish person, it still wouldn't make sense to do that because it hurts your referrals, it hurts your refund rates, it hurts your upsells. So it's just not a smart business decision to sell a
Mhm.
bad product. For example, one thing we look into a lot is testimonials because a lot of the trainings are not necessarily things that I'm going to be using myself. or I'm not necessarily the target market for these products. But if I can look at their refund rates, if I can look at the testimonials they're getting, if I can look at how excited people are about this, then I get a much better idea of the quality of the information that's being passed on. And then
Hmm.
finally, the supermarket is especially since we're working in the French market. I'm from Quebec, so this is where the cute accent comes from. Uh, and um, and so it's a smaller market. So if we work with people that are in too specific or too small of niches or industries, then oftentimes it's good enough for a single individual to make a good living, but it's not always enough for an entire team to live off that project. So so it's just a good it's a better idea basically to look for markets where we can at least generate like up to a minimum of $1 million gross per year in order for everybody to make plenty of money to be happy and hire a couple of people on the way.
Hmm. Nice. Yeah, I really like that framework. Superstar, super product, super market. And I think Alex Hormozy talks a lot about that as well. And if you don't really have all three boxes ticked, it's gonna limit like the success that you can have with this product. And then so how did you guys initially like pivot into this and then get your first customers to help with this new thing? And then what are you currently doing to get, because you said you're getting applications daily. What does that your acquisition channel look like in terms of that?
Yeah, so basically it was really a happy accident. Like I don't know, his name is slipping away now, but um, we just stumbled upon, as I said, it was a past my past boss basically, and I just wanted to help her out. We did a webinar. The drawing class thing just blew up. We sold for 1.5 million in less than a year, and we were mind blown at how many people were interested in these courses online. And so then we tried another one, and some were hits, some were misses, but all in all, it was very exciting. So at some point, we made that decision to switch. Um, but here's the thing: when we got lucky a couple of times in the beginning, then when we switched entirely, our first couple of projects were really more difficult, and we got a couple of flops where we once again we invest all the ads, we invest all the time and energy to lift the thing, and when it doesn't work, we're not getting paid. So like we're not a huge agency at that point. We're still not that big, but at this point we didn't have like much security. So it was getting pretty stressful, and it was just basically doing our best, like interviewing people and being like, okay, I think this is gonna work. Let's try it out. And then fucking like 400 hours later, and 50K in ads, and you're like, oh, I don't think that's gonna work out.
Yeah.
So one of the things we do now, which has been a game changer for us, and I believe for our clients too, is we do as part of our qualification funnel, we do consultations. So before we ever consider working hands-on on a project, well, first, Rafael, that I was talking about earlier, will spend several weeks working with them as a consultant and looking at their numbers, giving them insights, giving them like templates and all sorts of tools and ideas that we use on the day to day, but he's not going to do the work for them.
Hmm.
So this is very interesting because in terms of superstar, super product, supermarket, it gives us a lot of information on how that person works, personality wise, if we're going to get along, and then get really detailed information and data on the stats and the results that they're getting. So we get into this flirting phase before we get married.
Hmm.
And that has helped us dramatically increase our success rate because once we have this information and we decide to bring them on, it's there's a much higher chance that things are going to go the way we're hoping.
Hmm. Yeah, I like the flirting phase. It sounds like a really good way to to test that out before making that big jump. And then so what do you guys currently do in terms of client acquisition to be getting, you said like applications every single day?
Yeah, so our main thing, like at this point, we started getting many referrals from people that we work with or people that we didn't even pick, but we did a consulting with and decided we're not going to go further, but they still enjoyed the insights and they enjoyed working with us and Rafael. So, um, but when we first started, like nobody knew about us, so there's no way we
Mm,
were going to get any referrals that way.
yeah.
So what we did and what has basically fed the agency for the last, I think 3 years now that we did the pivot,
Hmm.
is a video sales letter. So a good old video sales letter,
Hmm.
20-minute video of me basically explaining the problems with the current e-learning industry and the solutions that they can try to have, like whether they hire an agency or they try to do everything on their own. So I sort of describe their situation the best I can. And then I explain our way of doing things, which is a little bit different from what they've already seen. And if they want to know more, then they can simply fill in a form, tell us a little bit about their current situation, and
Hmm.
Rafael takes it from there. So we do mostly Facebook ads, drive traffic to that VSL and get the ball moving. And then since then, we also released, that was a cool marketing piece that people can check out. It's in French though, but it's we really put a lot of energy into it. It's a mini documentary that's also probably I think 17 minutes long. That's
Hmm.
basically one of our projects that we were able to scale from. I think the year before she started working with us, she grossed $50,000 in 12 months. And then in 6 months, during the length of the documentary, we grossed 1.2 million. And we see all the steps. So basically, like she tells what was going on before she met us, and then the whole consulting process, and then we see the ad shootings. We even traveled with her in a couple of spots and everything. So it's very like exciting and emotional, and we
Yeah.
see the results, the ups, the downs, the doubts, the successes, and I think this really helped us a lot because it got people to really like sit in that chair for a second and imagine what it could be like to be surrounded by an entire team instead of doing everything on their own, and being at home and trying to figure out things by themselves.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, nice. Yeah, that would be really interesting. I'll definitely check that out. And then I know it's starting to run out of time here, so how about let's finish on what are some of the things that you guys as a business are currently working on internally that you're like looking to improve on?
Yeah, it makes sense. So the main KPI that we decided we're going to focus all of our energy on is basically the revenue per employee. So per full-time employee. So we do the calculation if we have part-times and stuff. But basically, we decided to do that because when you have a regular agency, it's very easy to project how much revenue you're going to make per employee because you're selling hours. Whereas in our case, we're working 100% on commission. So it's easy, and we did that mistake. We had to reduce the team like an hour, not a, a year and a half ago. We did a couple of layoffs because we realized that we hired too many people and we were doing the same amount of work and the same amount of revenue with a bloated team. And so we had to take some difficult decisions, but we realized at that point that we were able to do much more than we thought with if you have the right people and if you
Mm,
have the right projects. But it's easy to fall in that loop of hiring more people and then having to find maybe less qualified projects to fill their schedule. And now you have
mhm,
people that have a little bit less experience working on projects that have a little bit less potential, and things start to spiral down real quick.
mm,
And now the people that are more experienced, they spend most of their week trying to solve other people's project because nothing is working, and it just becomes like this huge mess. And so what we're wanting to do now, and especially with AI, I think a lot of people are are switching gears in terms of trying to build a huge team, rather trying to build like a very lean and profitable business. So this is basically what we're doing now. We're trying to improve like every single processes in terms of production, our video production process, our ad management process, the project templates, like all these little things that we can improve 5% here, 10% there, and using technology, using AI, using all these tools in order to yeah, to basically be able to do to generate more results and more revenue for our clients and for ourselves without necessarily just hiring more people all the time.
Yeah. So essentially just running more of a lean team of superstars as opposed to just, yeah, having a bunch of people.
Scaling basically, but internally, like scaling through
Yeah.
better work, not through more people and time.
Yeah, nice. And I like how you were saying then you don't have like as good people working on not as good clients, and then as a result, it just creates a big mess essentially. So that makes
Which tends to work well if you're setting hours because it doesn't matter. Like some of these big web agencies, like they sell intern hours for the same price as senior hours. So it's just
Uh-huh.
the more like newbies are more profitable sometimes than
Yeah.
senior staff. So it
Uh-huh.
really totally reverses the incentives though
Yeah.
for the clients. Whereas I really enjoyed the dynamic that we have now because they know that the only way for us to make a dollar is for them to make a dollar, and it really
Mhm.
changes the mindset in terms of the decisions that we're making and the way we're attacking situations.
Yeah, definitely. And then last question, while we're on the topic of AI, I always like to ask, so let's say, and you said you're doing a couple of AI stuff, let's say you could get a magic AI robot into your business tomorrow. What task or thing would you get that AI robot to do?
Very good question. Actually, I think that's the problem. Is that I feel I was talking about this earlier today with one of my colleagues. It's like I have this nagging feeling that we're only scratching the surface. We're not really attacking these core fundamental things with AI, or we're not exploiting its full potential. Like we do the like all the obvious things. Um, but yeah, I really want to focus on trying to find these bigger opportunities, these deeper things that we can do in order to improve like everything that we do. We already started doing automation a couple of years back, so on that end we're doing really well. Like all the systems, the different softwares, everything speaks together. But I feel like there's much more we can do. And so right now we're talking with different automation agencies and different softwares to get them to basically open our eyes and get us to
Mm,
realize what are the things that we're not seeing in order to start doing it. So I don't have like a intelligent answer to your question, but I feel like we're lacking that answer specifically, and we're trying to look for it
mm.
really hard.
Yeah, nice. So it's more like you don't know what you don't know, but it's awesome that
Exactly.
yeah, that often is like the thing that comes back to bite you. So yeah, but that's cool that you're exploring a lot of that. You said you already have a bit of automation, so that sounds pretty good. So where it's been great having you on the show. Where can people go to find a little bit more about what you guys do and about the business?
Yeah, thanks again for having me. So, if anybody's curious, you guys can check out either on Instagram, leo.studio.web, or if you go straight on our website, I think it's probably the best way to go, leo.studio. No .com, no whatever. So just leo.studio. And yeah, you'll find all the things I mentioned, the small documentary, the video sales letter. So if you guys are curious, just go check it out, and you can always send me a DM or send us an email. We'll be happy to chat with you guys.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you coming on. I'll put those links in the show notes below. You guys have been listening to the Business Growth Podcast. Until next time, keep growing.